It is a little bit darker this morning because it's 7:15, but Annie made it out of bed with me. So we got the sunrise is about 15 minutes or so away. I don't think we're gonna have much of a sunrise. You can see it's pretty cloudy, but you can see a little bit of light. So it might get lighter here soon. But thanks for joining my channel where I talk about mental health is spiritual health. And no, I'm not a pastor, preacher, or a doctor or therapist, but I just believe it's all important. It's holistic for the person. And spiritual health is extremely important. And today's topic is we're going to be in the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verses 9 through 18. The book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verses 9 through 18. And we're calling this a deaf heart. A deaf heart. Good morning, Vicky. I hope you slept well. Hope you slept well. We're calling it a deaf heart. And the reason is there was this woman, call her Leisa. I don't know, it doesn't explain why, but she immersed herself in the world of the deaf. She wanted to learn sign language. And when she started to learn all the struggles that they face and the problems. Like people who could hear would awkwardly ignore them, or they would be passed up for promotions at work, or sometimes people would expect them to lip read flawlessly, which is obviously impossible. So they struggled. And most of their public events, they don't even have interpreters, so they can't even hear what's going on, right? So she kept improving more and more with their sign language until she felt at home with the deaf. And she was at a party, and one of the deaf people signed her, was surprised to learn that Lisa could actually hear. Hey, good morning, Frank. Oh, you hurt your back. That stinks, Vicky. I hate back problems. They're the worst. So one of the deaf people at a party was surprised to hear that Lisa could hear. And before she could respond, another friend signed back that she has a deaf heart. That's pretty cool. So the key, I think, was Lisa immersing herself in the world of the deaf, right? To understand them more fully or completely, she immersed herself. Now, she was very similar to deaf people, right? Other than the fact that she could actually hear. But Jesus did something very similar, but at a much grander scale. He stooped way down to our level from being the Son of God and is God and became human and immersed himself in our world for our sake, right? It says in Hebrews that he was made lower than the angels for a little while. That's in verse 9. And he shared in our humanity so that by his death he might break the power of him who holds the power of death. That is the devil. Verse 14. And in doing so, he freed those who all their lives were held in slavery by their fear of death. Verse 15. And even more than that, he was fully human. He became fully human in every way in order that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in service to God. That's verse 17. Well, that's pretty amazing when you think what he did. It's almost like, think of what God did to become human Of course, he already fully understood us, but he wanted to live a life like we live so that we truly know he loves us. And then he died for us while he lived a perfect life. But he stooped down to our level and became fully human. It's kind of like us becoming a slug, I think. If you think of it that way, it's kind of like a human being becoming a slug. So whatever we face, Jesus knows and understands. He hears our heart and he's with us every step of the way. So my questions for you are, what does it mean to you that Jesus has experienced the same hardships you face? What does it mean to you that Jesus has experienced the same hardships you face? And how might you step into someone else's world for a little while? How might you step into someone else's world for a little while? Just like God stepped into ours. I just talk about the Bible on here, Mason. Annie is here with my dog. I am in Columbus, Ohio. And I was hoping for the sunrise. We always hope for the sunrise over here, but it's just too cloudy today. Thanks, Santiago. So I come out here. Yeah, I am very cold. I think it's 28 degrees, but there's no wind, so I don't feel so bad. It's just that my hands are very, very cold. And my nose is running, yes. So I think now you know why I called this today. I was calling it a deaf heart because of Leisa, who immersed herself in the deaf world, which is similar in a way to God immersing himself in our world through his son Jesus. You know, I just think it's so amazing what he did for us. I like this. Hebrews 2:14. Jesus shared in their humanity so that by his death he might break the power of the devil. I need some hot coffee. I'll get some later when I go to church. I hope everybody goes to church today. If you didn't already go last night. Yeah, the sun will probably rise here in another 7 to 10 minutes, but I don't think we're going to see anything because we're not seeing anything right now. It's getting lighter out here for sure. I can see a little bit better than I could when I first got here 10 minutes ago. Annie, what are you doing? I think she went to bed a little bit late yesterday because she was in her kennel a lot during the day. And then we got up earlier this morning than we're used to, so I think she'll crash while I'm at church. What are you looking at, Annie? Good. There's no skunks out here. There's no sunrise. Unfortunately, there's no cows. I don't see any cows. They must have come a long way yesterday from where they normally hang out because I don't see cows at all anywhere. Yeah, these are beautiful grounds. Probably looks really nice when the leaves start coming up. It's a farm, horses, cows. There used to be sheep out here. I don't know if they ever planted crops. Hey, Quest. Yeah, I haven't heard much about what's going on with Ukraine other than I think President Zelensky was offering the Trump administration, meaning the U.S., access to their precious metals. Hey, Quest. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off because I have to go back and take a shower and get ready for church and be there at 8:15. So I've got less than an hour, and I got to walk back and drive back and shower up. But thanks for joining today. Thanks, Vicky, Frank. Appreciate you guys as always. And let's try to immerse ourselves in someone else's world today. Like, try to understand them a little bit better and show them, some love just like Jesus did to us. Church, then Super Bowl. Yes, Quest, Super Bowl. So I will not be live tonight. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at the same time, 7:15. All right. Hopefully it's a good Super Bowl. We'll see everybody. Have a great Sunday. Peace. Say bye, Annie.